Now, the car that I have been most looking forward to driving this year is not the new Ferrari 599 or the Lamborghini Gallardo Spider. No, it's this, the new Citroen C6. Unfortunately, as it turns out, Jeremy has also been looking forward to driving the new Citroen C6, and, well, he's bigger than me, so he's done it.
This is the old Citroen CX, and it was mad in every way. The stereo is vertical. The indicator switch is here, and it doesn't self-cancel. And the brakes work like a switch. They're either off, like now, or they're on, like... Trying to drive this car through a town was like trying to wire a plug while wearing boxing gloves. It was always going to end in tears. Oh no, indicators. Right, sorry. Oops, sorry. But you know what? I loved it. I loved the one-prong steering wheel, the softness of the seats, the softness of the suspension, and the space. There was enough room back here to stage a small tennis tournament. The CX was just so different, so left field. And that's why I was sad 6 years ago when Citroen announced that they'd stop making big, insane cars for good. Only now, they're back. The original sketches for what they had in mind showed something radically different to the BMW and Mercedes norm. Something not at all German. And this is what resulted. It's been toned down a bit from those original drawings, but it still has 4 pillarless doors, a concave rear windscreen, and suspension that lets it move about while it's standing still. It's the same story with the interior. If you go for the cream leather, it's a pleasant place to sit. Much more Paris than Berlin. And that's all very nice, but where is the eye-swiveling lunacy? Yes, it's got double glazing, so it's very quiet. And yes, it's got a head-up display. And yes, there's a feature in the seat that vibrates if I stray over the white lines, which is nice if you're a bachelor. But I want it to feel completely different to any other car. I want to start it by licking a little panel here on the steering wheel. I want the gear lever to be made from rhubarb and to stick out of the sun visor. I want to feel like I'm in a Salvador Dali painting and it's all melting. So, how does it stack up? Is this an indicator? Yes, it is. It shouldn't be. That should be the boot release. The indicator should be, I don't know, in here somewhere. It's all wrong. Wrong, wrong, wrong. As a car, it's conventional too. It's front-wheel drive rather than side-wheel drive. And prices start at £29,500 rather than 29,500 Zarbs. The steering wheel is circular. The seats are German hard, and while there's enough space in the back for me, there isn't enough to take a dog for a walk. And you should be able to do that in the back of a big Citroen. You should. So it's beginning to look like the cheese-eating surrender monkeys have bottled it. And now we get to the most disappointing thing of them all, the handling. A big Citroen should flop about like a boat, but this, I'm afraid, goes round corners rather well. So does this mean they've tuned its Oleo hydro-pneumatic complicated suspension for cornering rather than comfort? Because that really would be the final nail in its coffin. Well, to find out, we've dreamed up a rather unusual test. For years, television camera crews covering horse racing events use Citroens. They loved the way their oil-filled suspension provided such a stable platform as they tracked along over rough ground at 40 miles an hour. And that's why we're at Toaster Races today, to find out if the C6 can still cut it. You see, the 2:30 race today will be covered by two cars. The first 8 furlongs from a camera mounted on the roof of the C6, and the second 8 furlongs from a camera mounted on a BMW 5 Series. This is the surface they'll be driving on. Rutted, pothole, broken. Right, the horses are ready. The bets are placed. The punters are eager for the off. So let's go over now to our commentator, Jim McGrath.
Well, as an experiment, I'm throwing away the binoculars for this race and relying solely on the pictures from the camera on the moving vehicle. And they're coming in, and they're off. And in the very early stages, going on here is Andy Ginn, who's up vying for the early lead with Signature Tune and just dropping in behind the Blackthorn on the near side. They're followed by Signature Tune and Hunting Lodge and Dorney's Well from Nason and Malaga And the Citroen's Oleo-Pneumatic suspension absorbing the bumps nicely there.
This is unbelievably smooth.
As they continue on the far side, it's still Blackthorn who makes the running from up there on the outside. Andy Ginn, and behind them is Signature Tune and Hunting Lodge.
It's like driving over silk.
And that's a rough old track, but the Citroen's riding it well.
Time now to hand over to the BMW, see how it gets on.
And it's Blackthorn who shows out with the noseband by a couple of lengths here. The Signature Tune is up there, and that's, oh dear, it's very bumpy now. It's, well, if you can see, then you're better than I am. Last time they came into the home straight, it was Blackthorn, but Andy Ginn up on the outside. I'd love to tell you what's happening, but I can't. Last time I saw it, it was Andy Ginn in front. But frankly, I haven't got a clue who actually won.
I do. It was the Citroen. Obviously, for when your hair's on fire, you need the BMW, but for comfort, the C6 is just uncanny.
Hold it. Let me make sure I've got this right. You're saying you buy the Citroen if it's your job to cover the horse racing, but if you do anything else, you'd have a BMW.
What I'm saying, in essence, is that it's not as mad as I was hoping it would be, but really it's, if you want comfort more than speed, this is the car for you.
But isn't the worry with a big Citroen always that you just lose all your money?
Yeah, I rang Citroen about that, talked to a man, and I said, what are you going to do to stop that? And he said, aha, we will buy back anybody's Citroen C6 when they've finished with it.
Really?
Yep, guaranteed to buy it back.
For how much?
He wouldn't tell me.
So it could be 25p?
It could be 25p, but there's no more comfortable way of losing your money. And now we must move on to do the cool wall.